Heat waves cause more drought. In fact, climate change is causing more concurrent or compounded at the same time extreme heat wave and extreme drought. Let me show you first what's happening across the West. So that red area is the highest you can get in the drought category. It's exceptional drought. And right now it covers 27% of the West. That's exceptional because the old record since 2000 is 11%. That's just how bad this drought is. It is now the worst 20 to 22-year drought in 1,200 years across the West. So this is unprecedented in modern history. And looking at climate change, combined heat and drought is now 5 times more likely, having them both happen at the same time across the West due to human-caused climate change. And so, a lot of things are leading towards what's likely going to be a very active and probably very dangerous fire season ahead. And obviously, we already have water shortage issues as well. We may have power issues as well.
But with this kind of drought and heat, Jeff, are we sort of threatening human existence there? I mean, we know that sometimes the power grids fail and air conditioning goes down. I mean, at what point, is human life threatened?
Well, first of all, human life is threatened to the degree that if you have any health problems already and you're dealing with poor air quality or it's too hot outside for you, there's a lot of heat-related deaths. But if you're talking about existentially, the human race, well, we'll be able to live, obviously, out in the West for a long time. We'll have technical reasons why we'll be able to survive that. But there'll be places that people won't want to live anymore. I mean, think about the Paradise Fire. Some people are willing to rebuild there in California. Some people are not willing to rebuild. Insurance companies will up insurance rates. We're already seeing that. So there will be places that become uninhabitable. Not all of the West, but certain communities that are close to high fire danger. Yeah, it's somewhat existential, but humans will still be able to, at least for decades, to be able to live in this area, although it will be stressing water supply for sure.
At least for decades. That's not super reassuring. But, it's not like the East isn't having some issues right now either, right? It's experiencing too much rain, although comparing that to the drought, it almost seems like it's not necessarily as bad, but it can be bad, right? What's the latest you have on the potential tropical storm developing in the Gulf of Mexico?
Yeah, it's feast and famine. It's famine in the West. We talked about the drought. But in the East, especially the Gulf Coast, it's famine. It's too much rainfall. There's been a lot of flooding over the past 3 months, especially in Louisiana. Some places have seen as much as 3 feet of rain in 3 months. Baton Rouge, Lake Charles, that whole area, 2 to 3 feet of rain. And on top of that, here comes a lot more moisture. Now, there's a disturbance here. Not many thunderstorms around the disturbance, but plenty of activity here. This could be named a subtropical system later today or tonight. It may become a tropical depression or tropical storm before making landfall Friday night and Saturday along the Gulf Coast. But one thing we do know is all this moisture is headed to the north. There's a 90% chance of development. Hurricane hunters are heading out there right now to check it out and see if it has enough organization to be named a tropical system. But here's the future radar. You can see it kind of spinning around. It never really gets its act together. That's good news. It means that it's not going to have strong winds, but it's going to have a lot of heavy rain. There's the heavy rain, and this is how much we expect. From Mobile Bay west into eastern parts of Louisiana, that's anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of rain on top of saturated soil. So once again, it's the haves. Everybody here has a lot of rain, and the have-nots. And by the way, this is what we expect from climate change. It just makes the weather more extreme. If you typically are dry, you will be more dry, more extreme dry. And if you're typically wet, you're going to see more extreme floods and more extreme rain. And climate change is certainly making that happen, not just here, but around the globe.